Hello. I'd like to share with you today setting up a ukulele that you buy online. The ukulele that I have here is a Chromatic. It was listed for around $78, and with tax it was somewhere around $83 to get it here. I chose this one because of the ones that the concert ukuleles that we bought for STEM. This is the one that the kids seem to enjoy playing the most. I like the aklets for many reasons, especially for the fact that they have a case with them, but we don't have, they're really hard to string because they have this, they put all the strings down through the top and then tie them underneath and pull them back up, and it makes it harder to string and harder to change the G string, which I eventually will change on this when the G strings arrive. Okay, so the first thing you do is you have to open up the box. By the way, this is during the quarantine, and I sprayed it with a Clorox mist, and it sat there for 3 days. So inside you have the ukulele box. Kids are used to seeing this. We put them on the cart at school and keep them in the bottom part of the box, and the kids take the uke back to their table using the box. Also inside of here is something, packing that they use to keep it from sliding around and getting smashed, and a collar tuner, which is why I chose this particular Amazon deal, because you got this one as well. And then you have to look inside. There's a nice little cleaning cloth that you can use to wipe it off. Okay, and we get rid of this box. It's kind of a nice size box, actually. All right, and now I'm going to open up the ukulele box. And the uke, almost every uke that I've bought, regardless of the kind, has had this paper on it, and I don't know why. I imagine it keeps it from getting scratched in the box. I think ecologically it's not the best thing. You take off the rubber band and take the uke out of the bag, and there you are. There's your Chromatic ukulele. Kind of like greeting a new friend. It's a very wonderful feeling, I think. I hope it sounds good. That's the biggest, there are two big disadvantages to buying these online. 3, in my opinion. The first is you should shop with a local dealer if it's possible, but the local dealers are not open. I couldn't even get strings. I wanted to get more G strings. The second is that every single ukulele is different, so you should always try them before you buy them. Can't do that in this time of quarantine. And the other one is that there's some setup involved. Now, the amazing thing about these, I discovered as I opened another one today, is that they have done some work on this already. I'm going to check it. I'm going to do the chromatic scale on each string. I don't care what it's tuned to. Listen to what it is right now. Obviously, that's not the pitches of the ukulele. But I want to check it and make sure that all of the frets are right, and I do that by playing a chromatic scale on each string. Okay, that string's all right. This one. That one's okay. That one's okay. one's okay. So I know that the frets are pretty good on this, in meaning that there's not one that's sitting up too high and is going to make the pitch, the ukulele string, play a different note than you think you're going to get. And that's basically what I was checking for. I had bought a ukulele about a couple of months ago, and it happened. It was wrong, and I didn't realize it until after I had worked on it for a while. And I thought, something's wrong with this. And then I checked it and sent it back, and they were really, really good about. They even sent the fixed ukulele before I even had time to send the other one back. So they were really good about it, but still it was not a good thing. Next thing, because I'm doing this from scratch here, I'm going to open up the tuner. I hate opening these packages like this. It has a lithium battery in it. Alright, and I'm going to take the little back off. I'm going to put the battery in it. I put the back on it. A little struggle with that. This one's kind of easier to take off than some of the backs, but still tricky to put it back on again. Okay. Now, so here's the tuner, and this is something that you want to be sure that you have. You can get them for as little as $7, I think, on Amazon, or you can buy them anywhere. The tuner that I use is more expensive than this. I don't know that it necessarily works better, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is push the button on the bottom, and it comes on. Now I want to find the ukulele. Right now it's on bass. I'm going to toggle this thing until this one says violin, this one says ukulele. Then I know that it's going to listen to my ukulele pitches. All right? So I'm going to clip it on the top of the ukulele like that, and I'm going to play the G string. Well, it says it's playing an E. Okay? So I want to find the peg, the tuning key right here, that is attached to the G string, and I'm going to turn it counterclockwise to try to tighten this thing to bring it up to a G. Got a long way to go. I'm going to turn quite a bit. Ooh, it says G, so that little arrow, there's like a dial there. I'm going to keep plucking it while I turn it, and there it turns green, and I have a G. Now it's not going to stay there very long because the strings have been sitting untuned for a long time. So they're going to change. Watch, even now I'll pluck it. It's already out of tune. But we're going to keep going and try to get each of the other strings close to their pitch. The next one, Grandma Can, we move to the C. Loosen it because it says that it's tight, that it's high. Keep tuning it till I get it. Going to go back and check my G, fix that again, down to the C. Okay, now I'm going to go over to the other side. I'm going to find the E string, and here's where the E string is. Wow, it says a C. It's got a long way to go. So I tune it so the pitch gets higher and higher. We're looking for an E. See, it says it's an E, but that dial is still pointing over to the side, to the left side, so that means it's not in tune yet. Now I went past it. I'm going to go back. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the A string. Wow, that's very low, so I'm going to have to tighten it a lot. It says it's a G. There's an A, but I got to get it so that that arrow is right in the middle and it turns green. There you are. Now I'm going to go back and check them. There's the G, it got flat already. Here's the C. Then the E. A. Okay? Now, always turn it off. You hold it down, okay? Because you don't want to waste the battery. You have to go to the drugstore for these. It's not like you have a whole bunch of them sitting around the house. You usually have a lot of AA's and AAA's, but you don't have that sitting around the house. Now your ukulele's in tune. Went down already. Now I'm going to check it back in 10 minutes, and then we'll see how much in tune it is then. All right? Because it's going to change a lot for a few days. You have to keep tuning it and tuning it. Okay, time has passed, so I'm going to turn on my tuner. Make sure it's on ukulele. Went a little flat. Next one over. Still in tune. A little flat. And the A. Turn it off. Okay, being honest with you now, I think that a lot of these ukuleles that you would buy online would not be as good as this one for staying in tune. I think that the people in the shop or somebody tuned these before they sent them, because it's very unusual for them to be that close to being in tune when they arrive, and also for staying in tune, which is kind of nice. Okay? The next time I talk to you about the ukulele, it will be when the G strings arrive, the low G strings arrive, and then I will show you how to change the string for a low G string. Okay. So your uke is going to come to you tuned, and this G is just a step away from this. And you go from high to lower, up and up. It makes more sense to me for a lot of reasons to have a low G string. I like the sound of the low G string. I like the way that I can put that low G into melodies. I like the way I can put it into harmony. If you want to see why I do it, I explain it on the Sakura video on Google Classroom. So you might want to look at the beginning of that as I explain that a little bit. So I'm going to take this string off, and this is just a nylon string. And I'm going to put this string on. And this is a wound string. This is a low G string. It's like about $3, $4. Depends on where you get it. And it's made of probably nylon inside of it, but on top of it, it's got a coil of wire that's wrapped around it. Really, really, really fine wire. And it makes the string very dense so that it vibrates more slowly. And this low G string then will make a different sound on your ukulele. You can do it or not, it's up to you. Okay, the first thing you do is take the old string off, okay? So, you'll wind it clockwise to loosen it. Keep turning your tuning peg until it loosens it and loosens it. You can feel it get loose. Okay, not loose enough for me to lift it off yet. Okay, I can lift it up now and pull it off. These Macalas that I bought them on Amazon, and they're pretty nice ukuleles. How they have them strung and stuff when they come. Okay, then I take it off down here at the bottom. Okay. It was tied up at the bottom to the other strings. That's kind of interesting because I think, you know what they did? They used the same gauge of strings for the A and for the G because they're just a note apart on a high G. So we'll cut this off so it's one thing that doesn't buzz. Okay, you take your new string, then you're going to put it in through the hole on the bridge that the other one came out of. hard for me to see, so I'm going to tip it so I can see it easier. Okay. And you leave about 3 to 4 inches on the end of it. You pull it through. There's plenty of string. The strings are plenty long when you get them. It's not like you're going to have to really be really careful about how you do it. The next thing you do, you're going to make a knot down at the bottom. I'm going to turn it around so I can see it better. Okay? You take this string and you put it under. And then you put it over. And then you put it down through the loop that you just made. Then you pull the string and tighten it. And that's it. And you have your string on there. Okay? Now you're going to go all the way up to the top. Drag your string all the way up. Like this. And you're going to put it in the peg that is empty now, obviously. And you're going to thread it through. I pulled it through. And you're going to leave some slack in it. You're going to leave maybe a little bit of slack in it so that you've got enough string left here to wind it around that peg up there. All right? Now, you tighten the string, you tighten the peg. You're going to hold this down so that it doesn't slip through. And you turn this peg counterclockwise. I think that, yeah, it's counterclockwise. And you keep turning it. Now it's starting to wind around it. The wound strings, because of the horizontal nature, kind of the steel wound around the top, they don't slip as much when you're doing this. Okay, you want to keep it up a little bit so that when it winds, it can wind downward. And you won't have pieces of string overlapping in the coil that you create up in the... So I'm turning it and turning it. And it's still pretty loose down over the neck. Make sure that it's on the nut there. Okay. Now, here it's starting to get tight. Listen to it. So I'm going to keep turning it. I want to get to a G. Doo doo. Now I'm going to pull it a little bit like this so it stretches it. Listen to how it changed it. Doo, doo. Now I have the low G. See, it's still slipping. And it will for a couple of days. Get looser. You've got the knot at the bottom of it that's trying to tighten to its fullest. You've got the string that's stretching. So it's going to get loose, and you just have to keep tuning it for a while. And that's how you put a low G string on.